During the dating process, a lot of women don't like to ask questions because they want to feel like they're okay with everything. And whatever you do, and it's all right, it don't make no difference as long as when you're with me, you treat me well, da-da-da-da. And I think that might have been a little problematic for my marriage.
When MC Lyte shocked fans by marrying John in a lavish ceremony in Jamaica, the world was quick to label it a hip-hop fairy tale, the kind of love story you'd expect to see in glossy magazines. She was the trailblazing female MC who helped shape an entire generation, and he was the man who swept her off her feet after a chance meeting online. The photos were breathtaking, with white sand, ocean views, and a bride who radiated elegance, but eagle-eyed fans were already pointing out that something seemed off. They claimed the body language was stiff, that the affection looked rehearsed, and that there was no undeniable spark that usually leaps off the page when two people are truly in love. Some even suggested the entire wedding was less about romance and more about optics.
Did it bother you watching all of your personal stuff play out so much on social media or just online? Like, oh, MC Lyte got a divorce and this, that.
Right. I don't know that it bothered me so much. I just love having the opportunity to get them told. So at that point, you've said whatever you want to say. I get to say whatever I want to say, which was, really difficult back in the day. Now you can just write what you want to write, put it up, and people can have it. So when the whole divorce thing happened, I just saw all of this stuff that says he was trying to get this, or she got to keep her. It's not she got to keep. He was never trying to do that. We had a prenup. He's got his own stuff, but it's not like I didn't expect it. Anything to get a click, people will say. So I just was happy that I was able to set the record straight.
A way to silence long-standing whispers about Lyte's private life, the debate over whether this was real love or carefully orchestrated image control began immediately, and in hindsight, many fans say the signs were always there that this marriage was destined to collapse far sooner than anyone could have predicted. The timeline only fueled the suspicions. While the couple had a whirlwind courtship, meeting on an online dating platform and quickly deciding to spend their lives together, it wasn't long after the wedding that cracks began to show. Within months, insiders began leaking whispers that the two had already separated.
I feel like during this whole journey of watching your whole evolution, we also never got a lot of personal stuff, but then as of late, I feel like you've opened up a lot more about that. Is that a weird space for you to be in?
No, not so much.
Okay.
Yeah, it just feels like, okay, this is it. This is who I am. This is most recently, I think you might be talking about
to getting divorced. and then a boyfriend and posting that. We never had really seen you.
Can I tell you, I have so many photos in my phone of he and I, but to post them is just like, do I want to let people in on that? Like, it's just room for ridicule. But I can also say that the fans have been so completely supportive.
Despite still appearing together in public at times, to the outside world they were newlyweds basking in the afterglow of their Montego Bay vows, but behind closed doors the connection was unraveling fast. Fans were confused when rumors surfaced that the marriage had effectively ended within 5 months, even though the divorce papers wouldn't be filed until years later. That discrepancy created a fertile ground for gossip, with some insisting that the entire marriage had been a mistake from day one, and others convinced that one of them must have been hiding a secret that made staying together impossible. When timelines don't add up, the public tends to fill in the blanks with betrayal, and that's exactly what happened here. Once the cracks were visible, the whispers escalated into full-blown rumors of a double life. For John, that meant speculation that he was cheating, that he had been seen stepping out with other women, and that his marriage to Lyte was only a facade to mask his true behavior. For Lyte, it meant fans accusing her of living a lie, suggesting that marrying a man was never about love but about trying to fit into a role the public expected her to play. The phrase double life clung to both of them, turning every small detail into supposed evidence of a bigger secret. Late nights, deleted posts, vague captions, and even moments of silence became red flags in the eyes of fans desperate for confirmation of their theories. Suddenly, the collapse of a marriage wasn't simply incompatibility. It was a scandalous unraveling of two people who weren't who they claimed to be, and the narrative of betrayal was far more entertaining than the quiet truth of love lost. The money rumors only added fuel to the fire. As soon as the divorce became public, online chatter turned to accusations that John had tried to get his hands on Lyte's wealth. Fans speculated that he had married her for access to her assets, comparing him to infamous con men who used charm and opportunity to secure financial gain. The idea that a hip-hop pioneer could be played for her money was almost too irresistible for the gossip mill to ignore, and soon stories spread that John was plotting to drain her accounts or leverage her brand for his own benefit. The whispers painted him as a manipulator who had walked into her life with ulterior motives, and while Lyte tried to keep the details private, the public couldn't let go of the possibility that this marriage had been a long con all along. When people want a villain in a story, money is always the easiest motive to latch onto, but Lyte quickly shut down the financial angle by revealing that she had been smart from the start. A prenuptial agreement meant her catalog, royalties, and personal assets were protected, and she made it clear that her ex never tried to take what wasn't his. In fact, she went out of her way to emphasize that money was never the battle, and that both had their own lives and their own meaning. The prenup eliminated the scandalous idea of a financial swindle, but ironically, it only shifted attention to other possibilities. If he wasn't after her money, then why had the marriage collapsed so spectacularly? Fans refused to believe the answer was something as mundane as it just didn't work out. Instead, the prenup became proof that the real story must have been more personal, more secretive, and more explosive. Gossip doesn't die when one angle is disproven. It simply changes focus, and here it intensified speculation about cheating, hidden identities, and quiet betrayals. Through all of this, Lyte herself remained dignified but candid about her pain. She admitted that the end of her marriage left her distraught at first, that she went through phases of trying to make it work for herself, then for John, and finally for the family and friends who had flown across the world to witness their wedding. She described the heartbreak of realizing that no matter how hard she fought, some unions simply aren't meant to last. While her honesty earned her empathy, it also left fans dissecting every word for hidden meanings. Some argued that her careful phrasing was a way of protecting John while shielding the world from the ugliest truths, while others said her words were confirmation that she had entered the marriage under pressure rather than passion. In celebrity culture, silence is seen as suspicious and restraint as proof of secrets, and so even Lyte's attempts to handle her divorce with grace became fodder for rumor and speculation. Of course, no story about MC Lyte avoids the long-standing speculation about her friendship with Queen Latifah. For decades, the two women have been inseparable, supporting one another through the highs and lows of the industry. Their bond has always been described as sisterly, but fans have never stopped suggesting that it was more than friendship. When Lyte's marriage ended, many pointed back to Latifah, claiming that the wedding had been a cover-up designed to silence the rumors about her sexuality. Some even argued that the lack of chemistry with her husband made sense if her heart was elsewhere all along. Both Lyte and Latifah have denied these theories, but the gossip persists because fans love the idea of a hidden romance between two powerful women, and the more private they remain, the more convinced people are that something is being hidden. For fans, friendship isn't enough. They demand scandal. The burden of labels has been a recurring theme in Lyte's career. From her earliest days, people judged her based on her look, her style, and her refusal to fit into stereotypes. Many assumed her independence and strength meant she wasn't interested in men, and when she married, they claimed she was betraying herself. When she divorced, they said it was proof they had been right all along. Lyte pushed back, insisting that her choices were her own and that she had entered marriage out of genuine belief in partnership and love, not to appease public opinion. But the relentless speculation revealed just how exhausting it can be to live under constant scrutiny, where every decision is seen as evidence for someone else's theory. In the eyes of the public, she could never win. If she stayed married, they'd call it fake, and if she divorced, they'd call it proof of deception. After the storm of divorce, Lyte stepped into what fans call her soft life era. She revealed a new relationship with Aaron, a tech professional far removed from the roughneck archetypes she once rapped about. For a while, everything seemed peaceful and glowing, with Lyte describing him as a reflection of her growth and her family calling him a ray of sunshine. She admitted it took adjustment to be with someone so different from her past, but she embraced the gentler love he offered. Yet even this chapter wasn't safe from scrutiny. When Lyte began deleting photos of him from social media, fans immediately jumped to conclusions, assuming the relationship had ended. In today's digital culture, unfollowing or deleting pictures is treated like breaking news, and once again, people speculated that Lyte was living a pattern of unstable romances, unable or unwilling to live her truth. The idea that she could simply be protecting her privacy didn't satisfy fans who craved another scandal. And so we arrive at the question that still hangs over her story: who is truly living the double life? Was it John, allegedly stepping out and keeping secrets while married to a legend? Was it Lyte, performing a marriage that didn't reflect her authentic self? Or was it the fans, demanding both the fairy tale and the scandal, unable to accept that sometimes marriages simply fail without a dramatic villain? The fascination with this story shows how much audiences need narrative twists, how much we prefer betrayal over boredom, and how often we impose roles on celebrities that have nothing to do with their actual lives. In the end, perhaps the real secret is that the truth was far simpler than fans want to believe. That it was just a love that couldn't survive the weight of expectation. And maybe the bravest thing MC Lyte did was to let it go, choosing peace over plot and teaching us that even legends are human, vulnerable, and entitled to live without giving the world every detail of their hearts. But even after all the dust settled and Lyte tried to reclaim her peace, fans couldn't let go of the idea that the story wasn't finished. Every time she posted something inspirational online, people in the comments twisted it into a clue, as if she were speaking in code about hidden heartbreak. A quote about self-love became a signal of loneliness, a caption about growth was recast as shade toward her ex, and a candid smile in a new photo sparked endless debate about who was behind the camera. This constant surveillance from fans shows how difficult it is for celebrities to live authentically once a scandal takes root, because no matter what they say or do, it gets reframed into the ongoing narrative. And while Lyte has always projected strength, resilience, and control, you can't help but wonder how exhausting it must be to have your every move treated like an episode in a soap opera, even years after the marriage has ended. The double life rumor became less about her ex and more about her, a lingering question that fans refused to let go of, even when she moved on to new love and new chapters in her life. And perhaps that's the real twist in this saga. The double life isn't necessarily about secret affairs or hidden romances, but about the split between the public version of MC Lyte and the private woman who just wants happiness like anyone else. The public sees a legend, a pioneer, and a carefully curated image that's been both respected and scrutinized for decades. The private Lyte, however, is someone who has faced heartbreak, fought for stability, and wrestled with the burden of being a symbol while still craving a personal life free of judgment. These two sides have always coexisted, and that tension is what keeps fans hungry for answers, because they want the untold story that bridges the gap between icon and human. In the end, though, maybe the truth is simpler than all the rumors suggest. Maybe the lesson is that even heroes of the culture are allowed to stumble in love, to walk away from what doesn't serve them, and to protect parts of themselves the world was never meant to see. And that's not a scandal, that's just life.